All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jonathan Mills Patrick, and welcome to another episode of the Funding Simplified series, where I simplify the business funding process, whether that's taking out loans through lenders, taking on debt to grow your business, or working with investors in your startup or existing company, maybe giving up equity in your business and using that type of funding to grow. This week, we've been talking about loans to use and invest in speculative type activities, whether that's investing in real estate that you're going to hold and rent out, or you're buying land and getting construction loans to develop that area and then sell it off or lease it out as well. Today I want to talk to you about the idea of using loans to invest in speculative activities around investing in the markets. Man, I'm having a hard time talking today. Investing in the markets. Now, again, I don't recommend this. It's highly risky, but this has been going on for a long time. So what I mean by that, for example, if you have, let's assume you have there are any number of available platforms out there that will help you do trades out in the market. TD Ameritrade, all these others, Charles Schwab, they all have their own platforms that will help facilitate you making trades of your own in the market instead of using a financial advisor. Again, do that at your own risk. But if you're doing that type of activity, and even through your own financial advisor, you can have something called a margin account. And what that means is you can actually borrow money to then turn around and buy shares in a company. I'm not going to go into why you would do that today, but the fact is using loans to invest in the stock market has been going on for quite a long time. So this is not a new concept. Here, though, what I'm talking about is using a loan from a traditional lender, a bank, a credit union, someone like that, to invest in the stock market. Now, the first thing to understand, just what we've been talking about this week, they consider that highly speculative. So they're going to underwrite that very, very strictly. And one of the things that you're going to see them do is ask for a list of your accounts. So let's assume you have a TD Ameritrade account. By the way, I'm not necessarily promoting them. I do use them personally, but you make your own decision about the platforms you use. But just as an example, let's say you've got a TD Ameritrade account and you've got $200,000 in that account invested in various places. They're going to ask for a printout of where all of your investments are, and they're going to take that $200,000 and they'll use that as the basis to decide how much money they're willing to lend you. Now, what you're going to see them do from there is when they look at that breakout, they're most likely only going to give you credit. I'm going to talk about it in terms of numbers in just a second, but they're most likely only going to give you credit for certain strong, stable, let's call them blue chip stocks. So let's say that you have a $200,000 account, you have $100,000 in Apple, $50,000 in Google, and the other remaining $50,000 is in various penny stocks and non-strong performing very, very good stocks. What they'll do is they'll discount that 50,000. They'll now say, all right, we're looking at 150,000 we will lend against. Then they consider the loan to value that they'll lend against those stocks. And what I have seen as an average, again, as always, it varies, but just for today's sake, you're looking at about 50% loan to value. So we started at 200. They took off the 50 that they didn't see as strong performing stocks. They stuck you at 150 with your Apple and Google shares, and now they're going to use those as collateral for a loan for you to go out and invest in even more stocks. And what they're going to do is they're going to discount that about 50%. So what happened? You went from 200 down to 150 that they would lend against, and then they gave you a loan for 50% of that 150 is $75,000. So you can see how they heavily discount that. Why are they doing that? They consider it speculative. The stock market can fluctuate wildly. They can see the value of even Apple and Google shares can drop, right? Probably not as much as others, but they can drop and fluctuate. They're hedging their bets by giving you a lower 50% loan to value. So you can get loans to invest in stock and other things. They are considered speculative. They're considered highly risky, so the lender's going to underwrite them strictly. Just know that going into it, again, it's not something I recommend unless you're a really, really well-educated and have had some success in the stock market. Maybe then you could consider doing things on margin. Hope this information helps you. We'll see you next week.